Hey everybody, and welcome back to the weekly Unreal Engine Twitch live stream. We are here today to talk about the making of Bullet Train and kick off the Epic MegaJam.
Oh yeah.
Dun, dun,
Boom,
dun.
boom.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait till the end of the stream for that one, so just chill your pants. All right. Chill out.
Yeah, it's a year of game jams here. We actually asked for a pre-registration this time, and we have like 224 teams already, and they're still kind of rolling in.
What?
So. Yeah.
Yeah, that's teams, not people. So
yeah, there's over 500 people that are participating this time. It's going to be an awesome time. We're super stoked about it.
Super stoked and terrified, and all the good exciting
we've got
things.
We got our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
So hang tight. We'll hop to that here in a bit. But we're here with Nick Whiting and Nick Donaldson. You're no strangers to them, I hope, at this point. We've been chatting with them on everything from the creation of Showdown to building things in VR in general. And now we're going to talk about Bullet Train. Kind of the making of that. You saw the video at the beginning here that kind of outlines a few things, but we're going to talk and dive into some of the design decisions and some of the tech, things like that. And yeah, so let's get started with the news. Shall if you can cut over.
All right, first things up on the news is we've got a marketplace flash sale week going on, and it's going to be cool. We got all kinds of fun stuff. It's
yeah, it's already Thursday.
Yeah, it's already kind of been going on for a little bit. So you got today and tomorrow. But you've already missed out on some of these, so I'll just kind of skip past them.
Yeah.
So it's Evil Mind going on. Seems they've got some music going on, super sale. And then Friday we've got
Modus Digital mocap packs.
Yep, mocap packs there. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've been waiting out for any of those things, now you know when to pick them up. And hey, what a better time to do it around the game jam, right? Like so. If you're looking for these specific assets, you can hop in and grab those. Yeah, a quick note on the game jam too. There is is it Magic Sword?
Yeah, Magic Sword, the band who's made I guess a couple songs for like Hotline Miami, and they've done like a bunch of really cool stuff. They've actually given us 4 songs of theirs, and if you head over to the Epic MegaJam forum post, you'll see the complete details, links for downloads, and also there's I put up a couple of links for you to just like preview the songs, go on their YouTube, check it out, check out their social media stuff. They're really cool guys. They just like came out of nowhere like, yeah, we totally want to help out, and it was like awesome. Totally want to have like some extra stuff and some cool dudes hanging out with us. No big deal.
Yeah, they've got their EULA posted up there too, so you can find out what you can and cannot use the music for. But if you're looking for other things too, we've got new packs inside the marketplace for on sale this week, actually today, and the Magic Sword stuff is posted up there too.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Next up is Oculus Connect 2 recap. So a lot of us were out at the show. I mean, Ray and I.
Oh, man, I was there.
Yeah, Nick Whiting was even there. We let him out of the building.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Nick Donaldson.
Unchanged.
Yeah.
You can put them in the same area and they won't like explode or like implode or something.
No,
we just can't touch.
They can't high five.
Yeah, you can't get them too close to each other. Yeah.
It's Star Trek rules or whatever.
So at Oculus Connect 2, I mean, Unreal Engine was everywhere. I mean, it was in a lot of the talks. We were on stage at the keynote where Tim debuted Bullet Train. There's a lot of really great content that was put together there. I'm really hoping that they'll release those slides the same way they did last year. But this blog basically goes over a lot of the things we saw out there and a lot of the great teams that were there. Even Jake from Zero Transform showed off parts of Niren, the first Unreal Dev Grant award that we gave out at GDC last year, or last GDC. And it was there too. So really excellent show. We were so happy to be a part of it. We had just such a great time out there. And yeah, can't wait for the next one already.
Yep. Yeah, cool stuff.
And then next up we got
Making of Miss Daisy.
Yeah, so you've seen Miss Daisy in the community spotlight in the past, and we've had them up as education spotlights. This is the team up at NAD in Montreal. They've always put out just quality work. Lewis, our education evangelist, worked with the team to actually get some practical advice out of it and kind of walk through their entire process here. So this blog actually goes through every little thing how they approach the entire project, from the art to design and everything. There's a lot of can you scroll down just a little bit, dude?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you can kind of see there's different sections, animation.
Oh,
they walk through each individual aspect of making the project.
Small
group of students putting out fantastic work. It's a wonderful short.
Yeah, really stylized. That's great.
If you haven't seen it, go there too. You can find the video and find out more information about it. Again,
club sandwich of death. That's awesome.
Yeah. Can't get better than that, right? So
nice.
Cool.
Nice. Really cool. All right.
And
More
so
tutorials.
in learning resources news, the battery collector series at C++ examples has been updated. Lauren sent this over to me today, so now it's got UMG in it as well, so you can learn how that works with everything. And
Look
they've
at all them
added
videos.
Yeah, they've added timers. So there's a ton of new videos that have been refreshed. If that's your thing, head over and check it out.
Bam. All right.
Seattle. So our Seattle user group is putting on a workshop with I can't remember exactly. We'll scroll on just a little bit. It's at Coders Camp. So that's this Saturday. If you're not participating in the jam and you're in the Seattle area, I suggest you go check this out. The teams up there are really cool, and yeah, I want to see the output of this as well. So more jams, more little hackathons, all kinds of things happening all over the place. So you can find out more information on their meetup site. It's posted up there too. So if you just type in Seattle UE4 meetup, you'll find them. They're kind of everywhere. Cool.
All right, next up.
Unreal Slackers. Can you zoom in on that just a little bit?
Yeah, let me see here.
Yeah, so Unreal Slackers is the Slack group that's got, hundreds of Unreal Engine developers in it pretty regularly, and I wanted to just bring it up today because there is they're starting like a game jam section for people to.
I think they have like a nice subsection there, and then also it's a good place to just hang out.
Yeah, there's a lot of us there. Shelly's actually in that group. I was chatting with her about that earlier today. So we spend time in there. There's a lot of really great people. Nick Pfister that runs this, he's super awesome. He's in the chat today, so reach out and say hey to him. But yeah, it's unrealslackers.herokuapp.com. You can just sign up there, and I'm sure that he'll give you the thumbs up to come on in.
Yep.
And then next up is the Making a Bullet Train video that you just saw at the beginning. It's actually up on our YouTube. So if you want to catch that again, and you after this talk, you want to just kind of see Tim Sweeney and Mark Rain play for the first time.
I love their reaction.
And lots of close-ups of Nick Donaldson too.
Yeah, there's some so really great, the more attractive chances. Yeah, in that video. So it's really great. The team had a really great time making it, as we did with the project and everything else too. So lots of great little clips in there. So definitely check that out if you can.
Yeah, totally.
All right, Alex, what do you got for Community Spotlight today?
Community Spotlight. First things first, our top 3 Answer Hub Karma earners. Just gonna rattle these guys off. It's Jackie once again,
dun, dun,
Steve T, who's new, and Lion032, who I actually know is Leon. Yeah, he actually has helped me in the past with my VR glove, like fun little side project.
Done a lot of work with Kinect.
And Kinect, and he loves VR, so man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So congratulations. Whenever we roll out badges, you 3 will be receiving them. Jackie, you already got yours. So.
Jackie, you've probably got like 4 badges of these lined up already. All right. So, Community Spotlight. All right, over here.
What? Turtle VR?
What? This is the one.
Wow.
Oh, got it.
There we go.
Whoa, Michael Kubas.
Yes. So this is some really beautiful ArcViz. It's called Kitchen 1930.
Yeah, it's
so I
super
assume
stylized.
it takes place in the 1930s. Really nice, very nice filtering, actually. I really like that in the lighting.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
And yeah, by Michael Kubas. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I think this one came across from Twitter. We find people that don't really play in a lot of our arenas, and they're just like, hey, I made this thing, and then we went to our station. It's like, holy crap, that's incredible.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, rolling down a little bit. I think
Yeah,
even in editor shots where it's breaks down of all the materials and everything like this. This is what I love about the Unreal Engine community is it's not just like here's the cool thing I made, but it's like let me show you how it looks unwrapped.
There's a lot of sharing. Like people really want to see you succeed too. This is cool. It's just like here's a bunch of my random junk. And what is that like a? What is that?
Piece of meat.
I hope.
I hope it's like a big bread thing because
that's
there's
so
bread
weird.
downstairs. And
It looks like a baguette.
Yeah, there's baguettes
That's not
downstairs, and I have baguette on the mind now. So.
All right, cool.
All right, great.
All right, so that's first up.
Great work.
Second up, Mythos of the World Axis.
All right.
Now, there's kind of like a little intro video. I'm not going to play the intro video. It doesn't actually show off any of the gameplay, and I thought it'd be a little bit more fun to show that off. It's kind of an interesting perspective where you're doing a platformer, but from this very God's eye view of you see like a little dude running around, and you have to kind of get him places. Really cool stuff. Lots of details.
It's in VR.
Yeah, it's a VR game. It's actually available on the. Oh, I have to verify my age. Oh my gosh. Well, I was born in 1908.
On January 1st.
You know you're committing a crime on a Twitch stream.
Is that
Public
that
record.
Really? I don't know.
I don't
Let's
know.
see
False
here.
record. I'm not a lawyer, but we could get Cannon up here.
Oh God, please don't get killed. I'm scared now.
Our 12-year-old lawyer.
But yeah, you can actually download it off of the Oculus Share Shelly's got a quick clip of some gameplay. As you can see, it's a really interesting perspective and some cool lighting.
If you unfocus your eyes just right, like in a Magic Eye puzzle, you can actually see it in VR.
Yeah, unfortunately, since it's a VR game, any kind of actual gameplay, most people don't have kind of
So
rendered out as a nice flat image.
Yeah, so basically they're taking the camera away from the first person perspective and keeping it aside, so you've got to solve some cool puzzles, which I think is really rad.
You know, speaking of that, Alex, when we're in the Q&A session, remind me and I will tell people how to get undistorted versions of their VR content.
Yeah.
So that
Oh
they
my
can
God,
capture.
really? You're
Yeah.
the best.
I know. Pro
Wow.
tips.
Wow.
Pro
that is
tips from
super
Pro
awesome, actually.
Nix. Got it.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, nailed it.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh,
my
sorry.
gosh.
Can't say that on stream.
I can't say that on the stream. That's going on a T-shirt. All right. Yeah. So as you
Things
see,
Nick Whiting has said on streams that he shouldn't be. Be a big T-shirt.
at least it wasn't a dead baby joke. It's
I,
all right.
I keep a chalkboard under this table. We just mark them, and then later I flip it over.
Tally it up. Oh,
What is that?
Check that out. Yeah, Shelly's apparently
Oh, it was
somebody or Aller. I have a feeling it was Aller.
It was this guy pulled an Aller.
Yeah, Aller totally
Amazing.
requested that. Thanks, Shell. All right, so that's this with the world axis. The last part of the community spotlight is this really interesting
Gnome tech.
Yeah, what Gnome Tech is made here.
Please
with-
tell me that you're just basically a sea turtle. Forever.
No.
Aw.
Actually, it's actually a kind of software that's used for kind of blocking out stuff. Actually, there's no good images here, so we'll just roll the clip and I'll explain as you're looking at it why it's especially impressive. This isn't a clip. There we go. So you can actually.
There are trees.
Yeah, so what this actually is you are kind of in a world and can actively edit it. I'm trying to see here. On one hand, you can kind of click and drag and move things around, and then on the other hand is a palette, and I have to kind of wait for him to like look over so you get the idea.
Yeah, I saw this. He's
But-
using a Hydra, right?
Yeah, he's using a Hydra to control all of it. But what
You know all
happens
about
is,
that, don't you?
oh yeah, you love doing all that. Yeah, there you go. So he has
This
a
is little
palette.
palette.
And so it's almost like blueprints, but it's called like Blocky something. Google's Blockly. I don't know. But he's combined a bunch of little pieces
Oh
of
yeah,
software.
it's one of the things that he integrated here.
Yeah, so he's integrated that in there, so you can actually start piecing together your scripting while you're in VR on one hand, and then kind of throw it out there in front of you and say like, okay, like, I want some kind of something built, and then just watch it get built as you're checking that out.
So it's kind of like Drawn to Life, but
Mm-hmm.
a little bit different.
Yeah, so
it's kind of
let's
like
see.
the old turtle thing, right? The learn to program. You tell your turtle to take like 2 steps forward, then go to the left and stuff. I think that was like an old Apple II product.
Oh
or
wow,
something.
nice. Google's Blockies with these. Interesting.
Yeah, Blockly, that's it.
Yeah, Shelly remembers that. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not old.
block-based program. Yeah, it's really neat, and so I've always been fascinated with the whole in VR editor stuff. That's really kind of cool.
Creation
idea.
in this space,
Yeah,
right?
creation.
Since you can
Being
actually
able to
walk around
build
and
while
be
you're in VR.
Yeah.
So that was
And
just a really
turtles.
cool one. And turtles. Oh my gosh, turtles are so cute.
Yeah, but it's a sea turtle. So check it out.
Different from tortoises entirely. All right,
Great.
cool. Yeah, but that's the community spotlight.
And reminder too, as always, if you want to be in the community spotlight, just feel free to reach out to us in some way on the forums, work in progress.
I wanted to
release
grope your
project.
cat there, Alex.
Find us on Twitter. Find us pretty much everywhere. Let us know what you're working on. We'd love to share it with the world.
Yeah,
well, cool.
please, reach out and send me a message if you have anything cool that you want to get shown off.
All right. So I think Shelly has something special for us as we transition over to VR with the Knicks.
Yay. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you guys get a graphic.
Hold on.
Aw.
Thank you,
Wow.
Shelly.
You
I'm
s-
honored.
How much time did you spend on that?
Yes.
It took Shelly about a day to
That was
make
awesome.
that. All right, cool.
I should have put it up on this TV behind me. That would have been awesome.
It's
man.
okay. What you
Work.
can you just make it like the background of your computer, just all the time moving around. You feel really good about your life.
Done. I'll need that. I need that from you. Shelly.
So yeah, we're gonna chat about the creation of Bullet Train. I mean,
Yeah.
starting kind of from the project and inception and how it all came from. So Nick and Nick, tell us why did we make this demo?
Well, Oculus had their touch controllers,
Yeah.
and we wanted to kind of exploit those in whatever fun and horrible ways we could.
Fun and horrible. Got it.
It's more fun than
So-
horrible.
So they're sitting there on a whiteboard and they're like, fun, check, horrible,
Question
mark.
mark.
Maybe.
Well, one of our
proper.
original phrases too was like, Oculus made their toy box demo where you can do all sorts of cute, like, I'm going to play with a robot or hit a ping pong paddle. I'm like, we want to blow stuff up.
Let's Michael
And
Bay it
so-
up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a toy box with guns and grenades and
Right.
rockets and
That was our
explosions.
elevator pitch, was toy box with guns.
Toy
So,
Toy box with guns, and it's funny because like even the project itself, it's like the code name. Well, tell us what the code name was.
This is great.
Show up.
So,
To show up showdown. That's
So-
the puns in this building.
the same level of epic explosive nature and like
Yeah.
destruction.
Yeah, that was pretty
Explosive
much it.
puns.
We wanted to make Showdown that you could actually be a part of, you could actually be involved in.
Yeah,
Um,
because the last one was more of a kind of a fly through, and this one turns more into like
Right.
hey, let's actually add a lot of gameplay elements, not
A
just
lot
like
of
not just
interactivity.
some gameplay elements, but like
Yeah.
a lot of gameplay.
Yeah, there's
elements.
enough there for it to be a game.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's,
yeah.
there's nothing stopping it from doing that, basically.
Yeah, and it's cool too. We've been working with the Vive and with other things. A lot of that stuff's in the engine, so we've had motion controls in our hands for months now. But working with the Oculus Touch, like, why is that cool? What did it allow us to do that we couldn't do before?
Make games.
Make games.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's. I don't even mean to be sarcastic. It's.
Yeah, totally.
It's
But
the
that
first
actually
time
gives you
that-
the proper controls and
Yeah.
mechanics. Yeah.
It's to me. I mean, having VR and then using an Xbox controller or something like that,
That's
it just
just not-
doesn't
yeah.
cut the mustard.
Yeah, up
No,
until now, it's kind of been just like, let's slap a monitor in your face and kind of give it rotation properties, and now it's like, you're there.
Yeah,
That's a big
well,
deal.
and you no longer have just the stick separation from translation to rotation orientation. Like it's actually these are relative to the head space, right? They know where
Yeah,
the head
it's
is
fully.
in the real
They're in the
world.
same space as you. So.
So
If you kind of wear your headset half off, you can see your hand lining up exactly with where the hand is in the game. That's really kind of cool.
yeah, and
Or you
like
can reach out and grab the controllers, and they are where you think they are.
yeah, you can scratch your other hand. Like I did
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
reach over and scratch my hand because it itched. I could see it in the world, like.
Finally,
wow,
we can
that's
scratch in
crazy.
VR.
Yeah, so I mean, like, as we always do, these kind of demos, they come up like,
Yeah.
hey, we got this idea. We're gonna go do the thing. I mean, like, this was built pretty quick, right? I mean, like,
Was it 10 weeks, Nick? Something like that.
10 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
What, was it how many people?
It started off maybe about half the time was mainly me doing prototypes, and a couple of other guys futzing around with some things. But what is it with about 6 weeks left, we kind of hit the oh crap moment when we realized that we had a whole game to make,
yeah,
and we needed a bit more help, and so we pulled on, what was it, up to a max of 10, 12?
We had 18 people for one day.
18?
But, yeah,
for one day.
We pulled in all the VFX guys and sound
Oh,
guys and stuff. That's
right.
when we swelled. But I think the average was you, me, Jerome, almost the full time, and then the 2 VR engineers improving the rendering pipeline and doing.
And we had Ryan, who was on for most of the time, and Shane, who was on for most of the
Yeah,
time.
and we've actually got Ryan and Jerome coming on next
Yeah.
week
Oh,
to
cool.
talk through some of the more
Awesome.
tech art.
Yeah,
side
he
of
did
it.
a lot of the material effects and stuff, right?
Yeah. Ryan did a lot of the D-res effects with the.
So what did you do?
Yeah.
Me?
Just design,
I was,
prototype, build
I
all
was
the things.
the quote-unquote project lead,
Okay.
designer, / stand-in gameplay programmer for lack of actual gameplay
Gameplay
programmers.
programmer. Yep,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And Nick Whiting, he just sat back and yelled at people with Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
this is usually how I communicate. I'm over the internets on
Yeah.
video chat and said, hey, all your stuff is really dumb.
I think I walked in on a few of those. It was like, oh, hey, Chance is here. Hey, tell him his stuff's dumb. Like, your stuff's kind of
No,
dumb.
we were kind of we were kicking around ideas the whole time, and then I kind of
Yeah.
jumped in after 4.9 got out the door and
Yeah.
started working on helping out with the blueprints, like the boss battle and
Yeah, Nick did the
doing
whole
some
boss
kind
fight.
of iteration and
Yeah.
tweaking on that stuff, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
helping the VR guys do awesome rendering optimizations to make the thing actually work. Oh, that's awesome.
Check it out. Hang on. There you
There you
go.
go. It's like he's right
There
here.
you go.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, wrong side.
Other side.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm Nick Whiting. What's up, bro?
It works. Oh my
It
god.
sucks. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm like. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of I was doing all the other things.
Yeah,
I
the-
guess kind of running around, making it happen. So
No, so it's funny too, like, you being in charge of so many things on the engineering side of the world, you think about, okay, it's 10 weeks, like great. So you got a team of artists, engineers, designers for 10 weeks. to build this thing, and it kind of ramps up over time as they always do. But at the same time, we're also releasing Infiltrator. We're also releasing the IB collection. We're releasing Showdown. We're shipping 4.9. I mean, all of those things happened during the time that this was being built.
Yeah.
And so it's just really funny to watch.
That's why Nick didn't get any time to actually come onto it to the last second.
Yeah. It's just really funny watching resources like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, today it's different. I'm sorry. Like you just have to dive on the thing that is the hottest for the moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of like whack-a-mole, but with game development.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We could do virtual whack-a-mole. Maybe that's the next demo.
Maybe it is. Actually, it's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, you got the touch controllers. Why
Alex,
not just?
Alex, get on it.
I'm on it.
You can
Let's
do
go.
it.
Hang on, I
Great.
gotta go. Maybe later.
Well, so yeah, I remember the first time I used like the Vive or even the Move controller with the Morpheus. You immediately realize that touch is. You say you can make a game with it. Like that's the new thing. It's like touch controller is amazing because it allows you to actually do things that feel gamey, right? And it's the first thing that I've ever had in VR. Well, I guess it's the second thing. The first thing was head tracking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could never move. I could never do without it again.
Yeah.
Now that I have used the Oculus Touch controllers or the Vive controllers or anything that works well,
We can
like
never
that,
go back.
I can't go back.
We can
I
never
can't
go
have an
back.
experience that doesn't use them.
Yeah.
Even like Showdown would be fine to not have them, but even if I could just interact with the world, I want to do that now.
Well, I don't
And
know. I think there's definitely a valid space in the medium for non-interactive things.
Yeah.
But that's what they are. They're not, they're not games, but they are.
They're experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of VR experiences coming out, but this really ramps up the game side of things, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing that's kind of crazy about having motion controllers is now that you have hands in the world, you want to touch everything. Like so the first rings in the train, everybody's like, I want to reach up and just knock the rings around. So you have to add that, and it kind of exponentially grows all the stuff that you have to do to make VR content. Which
There's this kind of set of expectations when you're in the world, and you've got to. As soon as you can interact with one thing, then the next thing that people expect to be able to interact with, they're like, oh, can I interact with that? Can I interact with that? Do that?
Yeah,
Can I pick up the trash?
It's almost the same balance as you would have in your typical game design, where some of the things in the world aren't interactable, and the player's like, I don't really care. I don't expect to interact with that.
Right.
The things that you think you should be able to, if you can make it work, then it's fantastic. Like you can open a toilet in some games. Like, oh, I didn't and it's that happy surprise, like, hey, it worked.
I don't think they're called happy surprises when you open a toilet and
well,
find something.
it's just the one that everybody goes in. It's like, this is what I'm gonna do. But
Janitor Simulator, come on.
You mentioned that too. Like
God,
the whole hitting the ring thing wasn't an original design thing. Somebody tried to do it, and it's like, we need to make that work, right?
Yeah.
Like
pretty much.
Yeah, and that feels good. Like just hitting that.
Just identifying little points of. There's this kind of when someone has an expectation, and then they or some kind of inquisitive, and then you meet that expectation. There's this like little kick that comes out of that.
You take that curiosity and you reward it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you
That's
can
what kind of
definitely
the
feel
coolest
that.
features.
Yeah, the bullet train. I think the most impressive that kind of like little detail thing. I don't know whose idea it was with the pistol. You can pull the slide back and actually check to see if there's a bullet available. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So when you run out, you can be like, wait, what's up? Oh, I have no more bullets.
So you can throw that at somebody,
and you throw it at someone and kill them somehow. Oh no.
That was one of the things from early on. Like the very first prototype I had. I wish we had footage from it, but I tried to dig up a build. But when you're on the cutting edge of Oculus runtimes and stuff, it just every time you update it, just breaks all the stuff back there.
Yeah.
But the very first prototype was a pistol built out of cubes. There was like 6 cubes, and right from the beginning, I guess one of the second things I did was to build that little slide back mechanism.
Yeah.
And it was it's one of those things that just kind of feels really good.
It feels remarkably good. Like
there's these awesome kind of haptics in the touch controllers. We have a lot of control and a lot of fine-grained control over the way they work. And so I did something where when you grab it, kind of measures the distance that you've pulled along, this vector.
And it ramps up over time.
It even, based on the per frame, based on kind of how far you've pulled, it kind of scales up the.
Yeah.
So it'll rumble.
So
you hit the end and it clicks and makes the sound and all the visuals.
It feels like it's giving you resistance.
Yeah.
It's faking resistance.
Yes,
right.
It's
Yeah,
like
just
shaking your hand for resistance.
Yeah, it's the same as like whenever you reach down to grab something and it, you don't actually feel it sometimes, or even you normally would grab through something because there's no collision with that, but like your mind stops you where you're supposed to grab it because you know that's what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
So those tiny little cues like that really, really help out. They drive that experience home. Yeah, and so with designing this experience, I mean, we've seen a lot of people run through it. We've seen a lot of comments on the internet, people talking about, you know, what it is, and you know, it was designed for Oculus Connect, right? Like it was designed as a smaller experience. So when you're building that, it's like an arcadey thing, right? So you scale back on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Was there anything?
There's no. Yeah, one of the things we didn't want to do was to be able to fail, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the goal was to throw challenges at you and let you just win more.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Everyone's a winner.
Yeah. So one of the things we wanted to do a little bit
So you
earlier
can't
on
die.
that we had to cut was to no, you can't die. You know, when
Whoa.
bullets come at you within a proximity of your head, they just start to slow down, and so you're basically Neo from the Matrix. That was kind of the design drive. Was you are Neo.
Was one of the,
Now
one of the
what?
pitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
And yeah, with
And then-
that, sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, I think there's a lot of, watching people play at Oculus Connect, I think there's still a lot of headroom, people that go back and try new things. Like, most people come out and they just keep shooting the pistol or the shotgun or something, but there's so much more that you can do. And it's amazing to see their reaction when they discover, like, I can throw the pistol at them when I'm out of ammo and it hits them in the face, or throw the grenade and then shoot the grenade out of the air, and in slow-mo all the guys spray around. There's so many just kind of cool sandboxy combo things you can build up, or juggle the guys with bullets and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
The shooting the grenade was the coolest thing for me. It was just like something about, like, I've always wanted to be able to do this as an action film in real life. You know, when you're a kid.
I wish we put that in the little trailer thing that we did.
Oh.
Because there's a whole bunch of little hidden things. Is there?
Kinda, I think. But yeah, there's a lot you can do in the game, and it's it's a shame that not everybody can get their hands on it right now and go play it. It's going to be at a CVR and a couple other things in the future, but it's just I'm watching this video right here. The two pistols, like throwing guns back and forth in the hands feels good.
That's actually
throwing a gun over the
very
shoulder and
impressive
catching behind your back and shooting it. It feels good. Like
feels very
Pistol
natural.
juggling is awesome until you actually let go of the controller and it goes flying.
yeah, that's true.
there's gonna be
It's
a
the
few
old Wii mode problem, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna keep happening.
except these are irreplaceable prototypes.
Yes.
Not to mention the names of people who've thrown them across the room into the walls.
Yes.
Oh.
So how many
Actually,
did
that's
y'all break?
From physical violence against the controller, none, fortunately. But we do have a bunch of dents in one of the walls in our offices because
Also, they're pretty tough. They're pretty.
Oh, they're
that's good.
super tough,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that's good. They got the
They've
like,
been
high
thrown
quality
to
manufacturing.
no side
You know.
effects. Yeah.
Oh,
I
They
did get
knew-
bloody. Though I broke my knuckles before.
you broke your knuckles?
I punched a wall really, really hard.
Yay, VR.
Awesome.
Oh my god, that's like
so
that's like
good.
Sam talking about he loses bounds when he's in the Vive and almost smacks Wes in the head all the time.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
I don't think that's accident.
Yeah.
No, that's deliberate.
Well, so we've got a number of new things that we use these for. We use the controllers to actually move, to do the teleporting, right? Like that's the driving factor, is to be able to look and say, I want to do that thing.
Yeah.
And now you're using them to interact with the same item with both hands. You're grabbing things, you're throwing things, you're picking things out of the air. As everything in VR, like as the medium evolves and as new capabilities show up, new challenges crop up all the time too, right? Like it's kind of one of those things where we solve a problem that we needed to solve, and then now we've got a whole bunch of new challenges ahead of us. Is there anything in particular for outside of specifically for tech, because we'll get into that in a minute, Nick, but like from a design perspective and like simulation sickness, those kinds of things, anything new with this that we've run into?
Design considerations for
Yeah,
VR.
with touch.
Like if you see your hands, does that make you feel a little better, or maybe? Or?
It gives you a sense of grounding. It's another frame of reference.
Yeah.
You know that it's kind of like how cockpit games are really popular in VR because people have a kind of a grounded space around them. The same thing with your hands. You know where you are relative to your hands because of your proprioception.
Right.
Fun buzzword for the day. But that kind of helps prevent simulator sickness because you feel more grounded in the experience.
Yeah, there were a
That's
couple
awesome.
things that we kind of came across when we were building this. Was like the kind of something I touched on earlier, which was meeting someone's expectations.
Yeah.
So when you pick up something like a grenade or a gun or something and you try to throw it at someone, basically because
Not
this
the
isn't
controller.
the real world, typically throwing something on consists of picking it up and just kind of doing this, right? That's what most people expect to do in VR. They don't expect to do a full overarm throw, but they still expect that weapon to hit someone who's like 20, 30 feet away
Yeah.
or something like that. So Nick actually helped develop this, we called it an aim assist, or basically a
throw assist.
Yeah, which basically identifies a target, and we kind of use a series of heuristics to figure out who you're probably trying to throw at and aim at, and then we kind of just help you get there a little bit. So
make you feel like a badass.
But you don't feel it. Like
no, for the most part.
Yeah, when you're playing it, you don't. It doesn't feel like auto aim.
You really notice that.
For the most part, you don't. There are some times where we take liberties and we're just like, fuck it. We just let you be a badass, even though you totally weren't.
Even though you totally weren't.
Making nerds feel awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you get out of it, you're gonna be like, yeah, I could totally throw a football now. Whap. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, right.
I was throwing the Chinese food
throwing
containers into the trash can repeatedly, which was fun.
Yeah.
Chinese food containers into the trash can?
Yeah, because basically all you do is you add these little components we made a blueprint for, and then anything that has that component on it, you can aim. That's an aim target. So I put one on the top of a trash can and was trying to sink Chinese food containers in, which was awesome.
Like we ended up cutting the Chinese food containers, but
we did, but the model was still in there, so I used it.
there you go.
That's great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I can find that and do some fun things with it.
You can.
Great. Perfect.
So the other thing was like picking things up. There was kind of an expectation from people, and it's pretty consistent from what we've observed, is that even in VR, even though you have full stereo vision, the way you think about grabbing things is actually a little different than what you might intuit from kind of a game designer point of view or something like that. So you basically I guess in a normal video game, you look at something and you press A to pick it up, right? Or like highlight and you press A and it whoop goes into your hand.
Or you mouse and keyboard if you're more intelligent. In a real video game.
Oh, sure. Right.
Oh, shots fired.
It's a gaming master race.
Yeah, but we found just the very first iteration of picking things up was just a collision thing around your hand. We even made it a little bit generous, so it was a little bit further than you would expect. So people would kind of reach out for something and like try to grab, like when they were like at least a foot away from it. So it was kind of weird because they would press the little grabby button and expect the grabbing to happen. But I guess in their mind, when your grab button in your mind is this. It's like 15, 20 different muscles acting together.
It's almost like a click.
Is acting together to pick something up. And so for some reason, the way people would grab things just by pushing this button, they wouldn't do all of this. They would just press the button.
Yeah. But
so we kind of had to help them out.
They have no sense of depth towards the thing. I want that thing. I get that thing.
Well, they did, but I don't know.
I think it's because when you do that sort of thing, you get a lot of feedback. You know, when you reach out, you move your hand forward until you feel something, and then you squeeze it, right? And they don't have that in VR. And so because the controller's always in your hand, so you don't get that feedback, and people are a little more hesitant. I think it might also be kind of a conflation of the gameisms with what people are doing. I think one of the coolest things with the grabbing was when that one guy who was obviously not a gamer, he was like a 50 or 60-year-old dude, was like, there's a stack of pistols, and he kept trying to grab them to pick them up, but he wouldn't hold down the grip button, and so he just like picked them up and dropped them, and then grab another one, and then drop that, and then grab another one and drop that, till he had, like, he basically took the pile of pistols from here and made a pile of pistols over here.
So the way we ended up solving the grabbing thing was basically we gave you like a force grab, which is, if you kind of reach out for something, it'll kind of highlight, and then you can just kind of grab it, it'll whip it over to your hand.
Got it.
And so if something's flying by, you can whip it out of the air or kind of grab something at a distance from somebody.
And it's those little subtle things that are, if you were to take a step back and know that, you would see like, oh yeah, I'm like using magic.
Right.
But like when you're playing, it doesn't feel
that bad.
Yeah, it feels pretty good,
well,
right?
Especially when you're this like ultimate badass in this virtual world.
Yeah, you're
kind of fits in with the
you're like, yeah, I could do that.
Right, it kind of matches the expectation of what you can do. So.
Oh yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, I think that a lot of those things, the first time I got my hands on it, it was a few weeks before the show, and even there you're like, it's still a little rough for this and that, and it was one of the most one of the best experiences I had in VR even then, and it got a significant polish, in the 2 weeks leading up. So it's cool. It's cool to know some of that, so I can go kind of apply it myself. Nick, I know you wanted to chat over some of the new tech bits that you've added to
nerdy things.
To the code to actually make this work. I mean, it's funny. One of the questions we got before the stream, we can get into it a little bit later too, was like, this looks and runs like significantly better than Showdown, right? Like, and you're running
it runs on a 970 now.
And you're running on like very similar hardware, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure some of this had to do with it, but what'd you have to change?
We put more magic into the bits.
Okay, great.
That's the differentiating factor.
You just go down to the Magic store and pick it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. So actually, no, there's a lot of work on kind of, the rendering pipe for stereoscopic rendering in VR hadn't been touched for a little bit. So this was kind of our opportunity. We had a new test case. We wanted to raise the visual bar, but on lower end hardware. Like Showdown was made around the 980s, and this time we had a 970, right? So we had less power, but we wanted to make it look better than Showdown. So that's easy, right? Just fiddle the bits.
Yep.
And then it
just make it work better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so we
why
had
is that so difficult for you? Just make it do more.
I know,
better.
right? It's just programming.
Zeros and ones.
So yeah, we had performance was kind of one of our big concerns, especially since we're adding gameplay and AI and stuff. There's a lot more to this than the passive kind of Showdown experience, because in Showdown, basically on the game thread, all we had to worry about was animation and a little bit of setup time. So we didn't even worry about that, and we're all GPU focused. But here we had guys running around, we had the motion controllers and guns and bullets flying around that were actually doing traces and gameplay stuff. So we had to pay a lot more attention to that sort of stuff. So we had daily perf run-throughs where Chad and on the VR team would run through with a program called telemetry and get like, hey, we're way off when the boss comes out. We need to optimize the boss, and it looks like it's his movement code. So is there anything we can do there? Or the train is taking up a lot of time, even though it's not doing anything. Finding kind of performance issues like that. Then on the rendering side, we did instant stereo rendering, which basically the way it works right now, technically, is in 4.9. Is we issue 2 draw calls, one for the left eye, one for the right eye, and that takes up a lot of CPU time because the CPU has to talk to the driver to send the stuff to the GPU.
It's pretty much terrible.
Yeah, it is, but the nice thing about it is it let us get up and running quickly, and it ensures that everything is consistent between the left and right eye, because we're using our normal well-tested rendering path, just doing it twice. So what Ryan, one of our rendering programmers, did was do instant stereo rendering, where you say, okay, I want to render this, and you make one draw call, but on the GPU and the shader, we separate it out into 2 perspectives, so the left eye and the right eye. And what that does is it makes us much more efficient. I love Stoned Ray coming up there for a little bit. Sorry, that completely derailed my thought, which was awesome.
Shelly's like, I hit the wrong button, sorry.
It's the Stoned Ray button? That's cool.
Yeah, I know, I want one of those buttons. Hey, look, Stoned Ray whenever you need them. But anyway, yeah, it makes it more efficient because you're only using 1 draw call. So it saved us about 1 millisecond and 3/4, so 1.75 milliseconds.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
Which is a lot when you only have 11 the entire frame. And it saved us about 0.75 on the GPU, just because everything is kind of cache coherent on the GPU. And then we added in masking, which a lot of people saw from the Valve talk at GDC this year, where you kind of mask out the portions of the screen that you can't see because of the lens distortions. So basically skipping all that render work and then only doing post-processing effects on the areas that you can see, and that saved us another kind of 0.75 milliseconds or so, depending on how aggressive you make that mask. So there's kind of a lot of little bits that we had to do in order to make things speed up. And the only other big tech change I can think of was late update on the controller. So the motion controllers right now, when we initially hooked them up, they were lagging behind by a frame because we have to read the data from the sensor. We have to do input around that, and then we render the results of that the next frame. So you've got a frame of latency in there. So what we did is similar to what we do with the headset, where right before we render everything, we check that position again and then update everything that's attached to it. So the guns and all the hand model and whatnot. We updated the render position of that right before we rendered it so that you get the most up-to-date data, and then it just feels much more like your hand. I guess, normally it feels a little bit like you're running through molasses or you've had too much to drink or something like that. And adding the late update really makes it just feel like a much more tight experience. You feel much more grounded in it. So it's a very subtle thing.
Did we get the Q ahead stuff only recently as well?
Yeah, Q ahead was in there. And there's a couple other.
That one a little bit.
How to do that concisely.
Hey, can you tell me about dual quaternions, Nick?
Well, you have this thing and you're trying to blend like this.
Yes.
But Q ahead does save time. It basically gets us. It lets us kind of overlap frames a little bit and update the positions of them later so that you don't notice the latency as much. But we can run the CPU and the GPU in parallel a little bit better. Because before
there was a bit of bubble on the GPU that we couldn't really use before, right?
Yeah, and now we shrink that bubble via Q ahead. So.
Oh, right on.
So basically, we get a bunch of performance things for free.
Exactly.
I think totaling an extra 40+% performance.
It was a lot on Showdown. We were running at about 10 milliseconds on our 980 GPU, and then on when we added all these instant stereo instant stereo rendering and the mesh hidden invisible area meshes. I think we got it down to about 6.5 or 7 milliseconds.
Wow.
Yeah, for free, right? There's no visual degradation.
So basically that would explain a lot of the reasons why this was, the fidelity was much higher, because basically you're almost getting twice the, amount of, I guess, GPU bandwidth, right? If you will.
And CPU.
Yeah, and CPU for, wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, good job, Nick. Thanks. Hey, when can we have? When do we get those changes? Where are those rolling in?
So the hidden visible area mesh changes are in 4.10, and right now we're reverse integrating the instant stereo stuff. We need to do a more thorough kind of rendering QA pass to make sure that it doesn't break anything else. It's a massive change list. It touches hundreds of files. So we wanted to make sure it was a little more well-baked before we rolled it out for general usage.
Yeah, I found a new bug in it yesterday.
So what you're saying is you weren't really busy.
No.
100+ files changed just for that, right?
Yeah. That was all Ryan though. He was
right on.
busy. And he also did some VFX in the demo, which is awesome. He's a rendering programmer that was a technical artist previously, so he's like a magical unicorn that has aesthetic taste.
This is Brooks, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Ryan
This
Vance.
is Ryan
Oh,
Vance.
Vance. Okay.
Graphics programmer in Seattle.
Awesome. Amazing. Oh, cool. Oh, he's in Seattle. That's
total
right on.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And Chad Taylor as well, who's a total performance badass. He's like, my last job we used telemetry and it was really awesome. And so he hooked it up in like a day or two and started making these awesome graphs every day and like, hey, you just busted, go fix it.
Calling us out.
Yeah. So it was awesome. He was a nice taskmaster to keep everybody in line.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So yeah, we showed the game off at or the demo off at Oculus Connect. That was the first place it made its debut. We all played it here. We're just like so excited to get it out there and share it with the world. And reception is really positive. I mean, like everybody that we talked to was like, this feels right. Like it's a VR demo using touch that doesn't feel weird. Like
what was like the most common thing you heard after someone got out of it?
When's the game coming out?
It's actually true. Yeah, I heard that a lot myself.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know anything in particular that surprised you at the show, or even internally at Epic. I mean, a lot of people here still haven't had the chance to get their hands on it too. So people are still getting their first experience with it. But what was surprising to you whenever people came back after playing it?
Not a lot was surprising, honestly. But I still, my palms still sweat every time I watch someone play it because I see bugs all over the place.
Yeah, and they don't, or they might, but they let themselves move past it, right?
Yeah, it's just, I mean...
There's so much stuff going on at any given time. It's really hard to notice the bugs unless you're...
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, Nick, what about you? Anything surprising from the teams or
I
the
was
public?
really surprised with just the number of people that reached out and said, that was the coolest thing I've ever done in VR. This is a game changer. Just random people that I would not have even had the chance to play it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah,
I mean, there's that quote by I think it was on the Polygon article where they said Epic, set out to make a demo where you could blow the ever-loving out of anything, and they pretty much succeeded in that goal.
That sounds like something that I would do. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a guy that said, I usually think violence in video games is really terrible, but this made me a believer. So
this made me a believer.
You made the violence so nicely real.
Oh goodness.
It's over the top, right? It's not gory. People derez, and it's comically, crazy. It's much more Looney Tunes than it is.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously. Yeah. It's completely ridiculous.
I love slow-moing someone, watching them ragdoll as they slow-mo out, and just hit some stuff and spiral out. It's really sweet.
Yeah, and it's funny too. One of the things we didn't really touch on much before, but a lot of people have been like, man, the AI isn't very intelligent. They're just kind of running around doing all this stuff. And I was talking to Ian about it. He's like, yeah, we made them too smart, and then it took like 10-15 minutes to actually find them and take them out. And so
because originally they came in and they would be hiding behind things and taking shots at you.
Yeah,
and we're like, this isn't fun.
Yeah,
we kind of want them like Batman enemies. They just kind of loiter around and you beat up on them.
And especially when you're doing like a demo experience at a show like this, right? Like it's kind of got to have those rails on it too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a ton of fun. I don't know where y'all have moved the kit in the office. I've been looking for it since I've been back to the show. To get
where
my
you
hands.
Can't find it, Chance.
Yeah, y'all are keeping it. You took it back out to Seattle, and I feel really sad about that. Well, no, but back to Oculus Connect 2. I mean, the show was really great. Ray and I touched on it a couple weeks ago, but we don't have the recap of the video because it was super potato quality on the feed in. Like you could barely see it. I look like David Koresh.
Well, that's what you get with that hotel Wi-Fi power.
Yeah,
so
we were
excellent.
killing it. No, but I mean, it was really great seeing like not just reception to Bullet Train itself, but I'm losing the microphone. Hang on, let me fix myself. Not just.
I figured all that shaggy hair would have kept that secure.
No, it's
You have
actually
to tie it in.
It actually makes it harder to get it on the things that I like buried in there. No, it's really cool to just see people's reactions to that, and then like I said earlier, the Unreal Engine was everywhere. Henry, Toybox, the Gunjack games. Gunjack for Gear VR, it's just phenomenal, man. Like
it's exciting.
What that team is able to do on such a limited device, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's just great. Anything cool that you found at the show, or?
I really enjoyed Henry. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to catch up with Max Planck, who's the technical director on that.
Yeah.
And talking about it some, and yeah, they did some really, really cool things with Unreal.
Yeah.
I can't wait to dig into the source for it and find out how they did all the
I know.
things.
Well, they made the project available. So
yeah, I haven't managed to open it up yet.
Yeah, me neither. There's a lot of changes in there, but we're trying to get them on the live stream. Talk about this stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. So that might be one you want to watch and kind of find out what to go look for, right? I don't know, Nick. What about you? Anything at Oculus Connect or VR in general that's happening right now that's really blowing your mind, or?
I'll say the same thing. Just the look and the style and how well they pulled off Henry. Like the rendering there really does feel like you're in a Pixar movie, and the animation is so good. It's really cool to kind of connect with a character like that.
Yeah, I had a big goofy smile on my face the whole time.
Yeah, I felt like a little kid, right?
I know. Yeah, everybody that came away from that was like, they had that same kind of thing. Like I feel like a kid again. Like this is the same excitement I had when I was a kid going to watch, a Pixar movie or a Disney film. Like I felt the same thing. When I approached this VR experience, which is really cool to hear. I think we're going to see tons. I mean, I know we're going to see tons more in the cinematic space over time with VR. I mean, we're seeing it kind of groundswell now, and it's just not going to stop anytime soon, I don't think.
I mean, the size of Oculus Connect this year versus last year, right? Last year it was like 800 people and a couple hundred Oculus people, and then this year I think there's like 1,500 or something like that.
Yeah, I think 1,500 sold out too, right?
Yeah,
like,
and more people wanted to come, but that place was jam-packed.
Yeah, there were people that were just in the Lowe's hanging out without a badge that couldn't get to any of the stuff. They just wanted like the VR community just to kind of like, flow over them and just be a part of the story, which I think is really cool. There's it's growing and it's getting really big, and the people that are just so passionate about it, right? Like that's the biggest concentration of VR enthusiasts. Well, duh, of course, because it's the only real big conference put on by one of the hardware manufacturers. But it's the biggest concentration of VR enthusiasts that I've ever seen. Like everyone there is like passionate about the same thing. And even when Palmer gave the whole the address at the mixer beforehand, where he's like, it's probably easier for most people to watch a lot of this from home, and stuff. He's like, but I'm just so glad that you guys all made it out here because this is what it's about. You're surrounded by the passion of we are this medium. We are driving a lot of this forward, and I don't know. I love that. It's so energizing to come back from that.
Time.
I had a really great time. So we're running a little tight on time. I'm just going to ask a couple more little things, and we'll hop into a few questions. But retrospective on Bullet Train. What are the key things you learned, some key regrets, and overall takeaways, those kinds of things in just a couple minutes?
I just wish we had more time.
Just wish you had more time?
Yeah, I wish we could have fixed some of the bugs, got in some of the more features that we wanted to, and just put a bunch more polish on it. But we still have a bit of time to polish it up a little bit now as well. So
yeah, I mean, it's just sitting here. You're not doing anything.
No,
right? Yeah, not anything else. What about you, Nick?
I think some of the original ideas, like what Bullet Train started out as and what it became later, are two very different things. And I think there's still a lot of fertile fruit to pluck from kind of our original inspirations that I really want to play around with a little bit more if we get more than 10 weeks to make a demo.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, yeah, it goes to say, demos like this go through and solve a lot of the problems with like motion, with touch controls, moving, even with like the physics-based shotgun, and like actually using two hands on the same weapon. Those things I thought would feel really janky and kind of like.
Did you realize that you could reload them by doing this?
Yes. You can.
Pump your arms.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Or you can have a pistol in one hand and just.
Yeah, you can do like shoot
like
forward.
It's just something crazy about doing that.
It's actually kind of cool too. Like the assault rifle, the AK, you can grab like the back end and just like
Spray.
spray across. So you hold with one and just spray with the other. It's really great.
Yeah. Well, cool. So yeah, there are plenty more mountains for us to climb,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure, and I'm sure we'll get there. And yeah, great. So with that, we're gonna hop over to some Q&A real quick, and then we'll move over to the Game Jam stuff, and then I'll let y'all get back to
Yep.
not doing anything.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
great.
All right, let's start that with what Nick had suggested before, though, because I don't want to forget. Tell us, how do we flatten out a VR like view so we can
So
actually show that properly?
there's a console command in there. So if you're running on the Vive, the default is just to render in a square, undistorted, the left eye texture, basically. So for the Oculus, if you want to get that same sort of view, if you type HMD space, I think it's mirror mode, and then you can go to 0, 1, or 2. 0 is the, I may have this wrong, but it's always 0, 1, 2, or 3. 0 is the normal like dual distorted view. 1 is the both eyes but undistorted, so they're squares as opposed to the distorted view, and then 2 is just one of the eyes in a square kind of capture. So if you see the video that we keep playing of Bullet Train with the hand stuff, that was actually just a big square window that we cropped down to 16 by 9. So if you're trying to make videos of your experience, that's a
Yeah.
Thanks.
it's actually
Kelly.
0,
That's really
1,
helpful.
or 2.
0,
No,
1,
0,
or
comma.
2.
Oh,
No,
so
no,
the
it's not
slash
0,
means
1.
or.
It's just
Slash
0.
means or, people. It's all cool.
0, 1, or 2. Thank you, Shelly. You're the best.
Yeah, but that's also online posted somewhere as well if you need to look it up.
Cool. So one of these, I get this a lot too, and I have my own way to tell people how to do it, but I'll let you guys, the experts, actually nail it.
Yeah.
But when you're developing for VR and you don't have hardware, because a lot of it's tough to come by, what are some things that people can do to kind of either emulate the experience or handle things like touch controls, which very few people actually have at this point?
You
Use
can't.
Vive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your hand, beg, borrow, steal. The easiest way to get the hardware is to show, Oculus or Valve that you're doing something awesome, right? And they're very willing to help out people. They send out hardware. You can do project proposals. But the biggest thing, a lot of people go up there and say, I have this awesome idea for VR, right? There's a million awesome ideas for VR. But if you have a demo that's like, hey, here's the start. Here's a little 2D demo of something I'm doing. I would love to make this VR. What's the next step? They'll pay much more attention to you if you have
the same way they'll pitch you'd pitch pretty much anybody, whether it's for funding, publishing, or even the Unreal Dev grants, right? Like, come with your idea and some work behind it that shows it. And I'll even say, like, if you can find, there's lots of VR jams that Oculus and Valve and others have put on that specifically say, hey, we've got a headset, come build something for it over the weekend, right? And I've been to a couple myself. We were talking about other ones that are happening as well too. So those are great.
Yeah, Valve's done a series of them with HTC, which are really cool.
Yeah, those are.
I just wish I could have made a project.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we've talked about it.
Yeah, I have another one too. Actually, I was going to do Chance Ivy Haircut Simulator 2015, where you actually use the motion controls to give you a haircut.
You have to. We need a really good hair shader.
we do, but we're working on it, right?
You just kind of remember with a lawnmower.
Yeah. Basically, it's like just its own mesh on top, and you just punch me in the face, and it flies off. It's destructible.
Is that what happened this morning?
No,
Oh.
it's my face. No, that's just my face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Okay, cool. Real quick too, other than teleportation, any other kind of locomotion solutions that could have been used that you guys found out about, or was that just kind of like the focus for moving?
We tried a couple of different things. We wanted to have you kind of dynamically coming into the scene somehow. We tried having a glass elevator coming down. That was bad news bears. It's just like, whoa, oh, the ground's rushing at me. Oh God, it's coming quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that feeling in a normal elevator, even when you know.
But that doesn't mean I want to play video games in an elevator ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried an escalator that was on the edge, and so we decided not to do it. That's tough. I mean, moving you involuntarily or in artificial ways is really tricky. It just makes you feel bad every time.
And it's funny because teleport actually, if you could teleport in real life, I imagine it feeling like that. Like where I don't feel like acceleration and deceleration or movement up or down. I just feel I was here and now I'm there. You know what I mean? And I think that's a pretty good digital analog to real life experience.
If you can use a joystick and move your character and you don't feel sick, it means you don't feel anything and you don't have a soul. So don't trust yourself.
Yes.
Don't trust yourself if that's the case.
Requires soul to use VR. Got it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, since you have simulation sickness problems every time you do something, people should just send their project to you first, and you can be the hurl test, and then
Well, we can send it to you first. That'd be fine. Yeah.
great, and then I'll just. Okay, great, cool. Right.
But make sure you have someone who is sensitive to it that you test on all the time.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah, Nick, you mentioned that too. Like somebody out at the Seattle office, y'all have as your sensitive.
Extremely sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put the headset on her, and she's just like, okay, I feel ill.
Yeah.
Anything is wrong. So she's our vomiting canary in the coal mine.
Nice. I got one here too, and I've actually been asked this a lot, and I think it's a good thing to do it. But what was the reason that the full body rendering was removed? Are you finding that people feel more immersed without a full body, as their hands are tracked? Or
It's
for
a
other
lot of
reasons?
work. It's a lot
is a
of
lot of-
work.
And when it breaks, it feels so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how do we know where the rest of your body is when you move your head around and walk?
Right.
Do we just project it straight down? You know, and if it's not doing what you're doing, then there's kind of this disconnect between that and what you feel. You know, your prayer perception, Nick.
Proprioception.
Proprioception. There you go.
your prayer perception, sure.
And-
But yeah,
Sure.
especially with bullet train, because people are jumping around and flipping out and ducking and crouching, and we had one guy that like jumped up and did a twist. I saw a somersault recently as well,
Oh,
which was
cool.
was pretty awesome.
Whoa.
But there's no way we could figure out what you're doing
Yeah.
with just 2 touch controllers and a helmet. So it would break more often than it would look badass.
And we find that, and the same thing. I guess Oculus have done the same thing. A lot of people, if you keep it simple, then your brain fills in the rest. You don't really
Yeah.
just have to think about it too much.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people that are going to be approaching VR are coming first from games, where games do a lot of this representative, you know, like it's not my body in the game. I'm a first-person shooter, but I don't ever see my character. I see my hands and the gun, and I don't ever think about there being a weirdness about my hand being there. And so there's a lot of places that will, like, you know, suspend that disbelief.
And I think it's cool if you can pull it off. Then by all means, I think it's still pretty cool, but
Yeah.
it's tough.
Well, and even imagine like instead of a mouse in your computer, it's like an actual hand that's moving in there and like clicking.
Well, we
and
have these little
and
hands,
dragging
right,
things.
that we stole from Oculus and from their Toy Box demo, and we use those. And people really enjoy seeing those representations because they're pretty accurate to what they're actually doing.
They're doing the hand, yeah.
So
Yeah, and the controller that's actually mapped is the same controller. So even if you don't know where the button is, this is something I've seen all the time with VR people using a controller or even a keyboard is you can't see what you're doing.
But
And so like
if you show it,
so I go T, oh I missed T, I'm
Yeah.
dead. You know, or whatever it is. But yeah, if you have the thing in your hand and you know where your thumb is based or even relatively to what you feel,
Yeah.
you can make those
at the start of the demo, we bring up a controller. Actually, before we even did that, we just had your normal hands there, and we had a little pop-up thing on your hand saying, press X. And people would just be like, what's X?
Yeah.
What is that? They have no way, while they're in VR, to even find out. And then we put a controller in there, and we had a little thing saying, press X. And they would go, what's X? Like, ah. And so then we just hid the hand, had the controller, and just had the line going straight to the button that it's all highlighted.
Yeah.
And nobody had any problem with that. You just go, oh, let me just.
You just have
Well,
to like really point them
It's
at
just
it,
point.
though.
It's just do that instead of press
It's-
X.
It's crazy too, like those subtle cues. I mean, Nick, I remember you telling me at Oculus Connect that someone was asking you after they played that they didn't know what the grab and the controller button did.
Oh yeah. I put my wife through it, and she played it for like 15 minutes because it didn't have any of the timers on. She was grabbing guns and shooting fools and doing all that. And when she got out, she's like, "Hey, you should change the teleport button. Like, what did you use the grip button for? What did you use the trigger button for?" And I'm just like, "You've been using it for 15 minutes."
You didn't even think about it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that's a testament to how good the ergonomics feel on the controller, but it's also kind of a testament to how immersive it is, right? You can do things naturally and you don't even think about it, and it just happens. So.
All right, now we got time for one more, and then we can get out of here and move on to Game Jam.
Also, Ellen has informed me that I've used the S word 3 times on the live stream. So.
Thanks, Ellen. So the reflections on the floor look good. Are they real time, or are we tricking people on that one?
We're using the reflection environment captures, the cube map
Okay.
captures, and then for the characters, Ryan did some pretty cool work to make these kind of fake character reflections or reflection occlusions, I guess.
Got it.
So what it actually ended up being, and I'm sure he can go into some more detail next time.
Yeah.
There's kind of just a mesh. I think he used his spline thicken trick that kind of just points down from the character's feet and goes straight through the ground. And then we disable it's a translucent sheet. We disable depth sorting, so it always renders on top. And then we look into the normal of the surface that's, intersects the ground before it gets to the thing. And then we distort the UVs on that plane, so it looks like it's being distorted by the reflections on the ground. It's kind of pretty tricky little thing, but
Yeah.
Ryan does the math to figure out the difference between a perfect plane intersection and the normal, and so kind of uses that delta to offset the UVs. So
Well, that seems very
cool.
technical, but
yeah,
we'll dig into that next
Yeah,
week.
we have
for
to get
sure.
Ryan to come in here and just talk technical about
it's
it.
pretty
then.
cool.
Yeah.
So I've got a few more questions on here that are actually better for that team anyway, so I'm going to hang on to them for next week. But Nick, any closing thoughts?
Bullet Train is awesome. Go Bullet Train, yay!
Woo! I like those.
How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Donaldson?
Yes.
Same thing. He agrees. Awesome.
Go Bullet Train, yay.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out with us.
Yep.
It's been great. Yeah, I can't wait to share Bullet Train with more of the world. And Nick, thanks for dialing in, kicking it with us earlier out there.
Pleasure.
We will chat with you soon. I'm sure we'll have you all on at some point again too. I'm sorry, Nick.
It's always a party.
All right, sounds good. All right, you guys can get on out of here, and we'll move on to the game jam
Ski-daddle.
work.
Get on.
Can I flip the table?
Yeah, you can flip
Nice
the
one.
table. Go for it.
I didn't think he was actually going to go for it, but he went for it.
Amazing.
It's okay. It's just an expensive MacBook.
Oh, yeah. It's,
Oh,
it's
no,
a MacBook.
don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
No, we're good. All right, later, guys.
All right, great. See you later. Okay, cool.
Oh, look at how good that looks. Just,
Whoa.
whoa, the
Thanks a
future.
lot, man.
Such a badass.
Ah,
Good work.
so cool. All right.
Lo and behold. So we're gonna show the video before we kick off. So, cool. All right. So are we back? Are we back?
We're back.
Wait. Is he still his box? Oh, he's gone. Great.
Oh,
Cool.
No.
So
My buddy. No.
I know. I'm sorry. So the Epic MegaJam, the moment you've all been waiting for. 224 teams before we signed up here, and I've actually got some.
I got two more while we
some
were talking.
emails while we were seeing tag. So wow, we are
yeah.
blown away with with the reception for this. We cannot wait to get everything to get everything kicked off and moving forward. So of course Michael Aller is going to be streaming all the games again like he always does. He's got last time was 57 and he went like 17 hours, something crazy.
Yeah, that was 57. So
He's going to be working a little bit.
4 times that much. I don't know.
Anyway, so to hop into that, Aller's actually got a quick video to give you guys some tips on building games and what you can expect from him in the coming week. So check it out. In 1 second.
Welcome to the Epic MegaJam. I'm Michael Aller, and I'll be live streaming playthroughs of all your game jam entries at the end of this jam, as well as helping Epic judge these entries later. I have a few tips for you for this game jam so you don't go out and do anything too crazy. First tip is throw out your first idea, right? Whatever you think of first, throw it away, right? A common example of this is previously we had a game jam theme called What's in the Box. We had over about 20 entries of a game called What's in the Box, and they're all pretty much the same thing. Don't use your first idea. Come up with a second or third or fourth idea and go with that one, because most likely another team has that same first idea that you have. Step 2, start very, very small. Whatever idea that you have, crunch it down and make it smaller, right? If you're building a GTA sandbox, open world space MMO, just try focusing on one aspect of that. Like maybe start with, a space battle or something. Make 1 minute of gameplay fun. Don't try to make an hour of gameplay here. Just make 1 minute of gameplay fun. If you can make 1 minute of gameplay fun, then you can expand on that and use all your extra game dev time to make something cool. But without that 1 minute of fun, your game just isn't going to be fun, and that no one wants to play a not fun game, right? If you have a game where you're spending 5 minutes collecting collectibles around a landscape and all you're doing is just picking up a box, picking up a triangle, picking up a cube, and that's all there is to it, you might need to reevaluate your game design process a little bit. Step 3 is take time and plan your design. Don't just hear the theme, get an idea, and then go right into Unreal and start building. Plan out with your teammates or with yourself and sketch out how your mechanic is going to be achieved, how you're going to build it, who's going to do what, and make sure everyone's on the same page. If you have a plan, your game is going to be developed a lot faster, it's going to be a lot smoother, and you'll need less polish at the end because generally everyone will be building the same game and not be trampling over each other's work. Step 4, very important, be prepared to kill your baby. What I mean by that is, if you have a mechanic that you put a lot of work into and it's just not working, ditch it. Just throw it away, move on, come up with another idea, iterate. Don't spend 3 days on a game mechanic that's not working, that's not fun, that's proven to be too hard to develop. Just scale down, make another idea, try something new, try something fun. If you're not having fun making it, players generally might not have fun playing your game. Alright, if it's not working, kill your baby, throw it away. Now, if you're working on a team, this might make people angry, but you just have to learn how to move on and figure out the next idea. Step 5, test your game often. As soon as your game is playable, package it, deliver it to your teammates, or have someone else play it that's like a friend or family member or something if you're by yourself, and make sure the game works, make sure it even loads, make sure it cooks, make sure it packages. Very often, at the end of a game jam, people have these great games, but they haven't tried packaging, they haven't tried distributing their game. So you end up with tons of posts saying, oh, I made a game, but I can't package it. Sorry, here's my project files. And that doesn't really qualify as an entry. That being said, if you wait till the last hour to package your game, you might find an error, not have enough time to fix it, and again, you'll be disqualified because you're not finishing your game on time, simply because you did not test and package your game. So please package your game. Day 1, package your game, see if it works. If you don't do that, you're setting yourself up for some disappointment. And step 6, or tip 6, I guess, just have fun. Don't try to be competing for prizes. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about if you're new to game jams or if, like, don't worry about what the veterans are doing. Just have fun with it. If you're not having fun, your game's not going to be your game's not going to have fun. It's going to feel like work. If your game feels like work, then players playing your game and me playing your game, I'm going to feel like it's work too. And all we all want to do is have some fun. So that being said, enough with me. I've already organized a few game jam teams together, and we created a few little introduction messages, and we're going to play through those now, just so you can see who you're jamming with, right? And there's a lot of people who are new. There's some people who have done this for a while, so watch your fellow game jammers. Again, have fun and have a good game jam.
EPTRA is a group of college students and friends that form because of our mutual interest for game development.
We're relatively new to game development overall, but we've been working on a couple of small projects. We got our start with Minecraft modding.
We attempted to do the game jam last month, but we didn't have any prior experience with Unreal, and we really used it as a learning experience to learn a lot of Unreal, and that's what we hope to do with this one. We hope to use this game jam as a great opportunity to learn even more about the Unreal Engine and to use it for future projects and to just have some fun making a game.
My biggest expectation for this game jam is to have fun making a game. It'll be neat to see what other people have to offer as well.
We hope you enjoy our game. Thank you, Epic Games, for providing this opportunity, and good luck to everyone else.
Hello, my name is Jay Webb. I'm the one-man team Insane by Design. I've been studying game development since 2012, working in different game engines. I've been currently working on a paper 2D project for the last 2 or 3 months. I've never been in a game jam before, and I'm looking for a new challenge. So I'm really excited about this competition, and I'm really looking forward to it. I Can't wait to see what everybody comes up with. Thank you.
Hi, we are Sleepless Midwest version 2.0. We're a team made out of graduate students, a hobbyist, and a freelancer. Half of us participated in Ludum Dare Fairy Free and the UE4 September Jam. Our programmer, Kokoba, has been a finalist in Intel's Project Anarchy mobile contest with a game year after. Our reasons for doing the jam range from getting experience as a team, breaking into the games industry, expanding horizons, and just for the sheer thrill of it. We expect to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and we're so out of gum. And as you can see, the guys behind me are pretty hyped. Right, boys?
Hey there, my name is Cedric, or XC on the forum. I'm a 23 years old student from Germany, studying IT and math. I'm a hobby developer since 2013. I joined Unreal Engine in 2014 when it became public, and I never participated on any game jam yet. I'm hyped because I want to see what our 5-man team Windows CS editor can do in 7 days with the Unreal Engine. And I wish you all good luck and a lot of fun, and see you on the forum.
Hey everyone, my name is Victor Burgos. I'm a game development student at Savannah College of Art and Design, also known as GAD, in Savannah, Georgia, United States. This will be my second game jam. I'm extremely excited for this game jam for 2 reasons. The first being the opportunity to collaborate with others, especially with a team so spread out between 2 different continents and having never worked with each other on a project like this before. The second reason is just for myself, getting a feel for what's involved in the whole game development process, being able to overcome obstacles and solving problems on the fly within such a limited time frame. I will be concentrating on game art this time, although my passion is for game design, and hope to be able to come up with some great and usable ideas.
Hello everyone, I'm behind my mic because I have a second face growing currently. Woo! Anyway, my name is Cedric. Oh crap, my name is Ryan, also known as Catatus. I've been using Unreal Engine 4 since back when Unreal Engine 1 was released. I've entered 2 game jams before and they were both terrible entries and I hated them both. So that's why I'm hyped for this jam, because I hope that, you know, with this awesome team we can actually make a game that Allah doesn't hate. Yeah, cheers, bye.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Frank Oyer, aka The Foyer. I've teamed up with Windows Yes Editor to compete in the Epic MegaJam. I have a background in web and mobile app development, but I've been using the Unreal Engine now for over a year. This is actually the first game jam I'm participating in, so it should be pretty fun. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all the pretty awesome projects that come out of this thing, so enjoy.
And we're back.
The guitar.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Michael, for putting that together.
Yeah.
Do not forget to tune into his live stream.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
To check out all the greatness that's on its way. So great. Just a real quick recap. We're going to kick off right now. You've got a week to create the most awesome UE4 project you can based around the theme. We're going to shut it back down at the end of next week's live stream. So that's kind of when we'll say, all right, this is the deadline, as opposed to it being on midnight night. Or midnight Monday morning.
And if you aren't able to tune in for that, that is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on that day. So there, and also there will be a countdown on the forum page, so that'll be helpful for you.
So yeah, a few things too. There's a project requirement section. We're about to post the full rules. Not a whole lot's different than before. There's been some questions about it. If you run into any problems, feel free to reach out to us. This is going to be our life for the next until we have Aller here in 2 weeks to
and then we're just going to push it all on him.
Yeah, and then
he can do the work.
He can handle 100% of it.
Yep.
One thing that is super important, we have a number of different drawings that we're having with this. So we've got NVIDIA, well, we blew past the stretch goals for NVIDIA, so we're raffling off 5 shields. We're raffling off a signed Titan X by Jensen, their CEO. We're raffling off 3 different awards from SpeedTree. So to be part of those, we need everybody's name and email address. So when you submit for your team, we'll need your each member's full name and email address so we can enter them all into the drawing, and we can follow up with everybody after the fact too.
Yeah, I made my inbox like enormous, so it's just just send me everything and.
The deadline. Yeah, so the deadline is at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a week from right now. Basically, almost a week from right now to the minute. So, it's 3:21 right now. But yeah, we'll be really close. We'll have a link on the forums that actually says when that is. So it's on October 15th. Everyone's got an entire week from right now. To submit, go ahead and drop a link to your game to download inside the thread there. Send Alexander or myself an email, please. Please not PM. Both of us. Yeah.
So you can just send them over a PM on the forums. You guys know our names are all over the place.
Yep. And we'll get to hardcore judging. We'll get the team on it. We'll get him in Aller's hands. He'll have them all himself, and he'll probably start streaming right after the fact we kick off. And Lord knows how long it's going to take him. So I guess I'm ready. Are you ready?
Buddy. I mean, I'm ready. I'm worried if Aller's ready.
And there's one more announcement that we're going to have. We have a last-minute sponsor that's hopped in. Don't have the information right now, but we're going to announce even another award that's going to come out too. So keep an eye on that. It's going to stack with the Epic Award category. So what you see there's going to be more coming on those as well from another great partner of ours. So stay tuned for that. That announcement should be within the next couple of days as we roll in the requirements for it. So Alex.
Without further ado, all, folks. That's it. Bye.
Yeah, no,
I'm just kidding.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Also, if you're streaming development, let us know on Twitter. Use the UE4Jam hashtag. We're going to be all over it this week. We're going to be living this until the jam is over. So I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, I'm just really excited. Last note before I kick this thing off. If you have ever participated in any previous Game Jam games and gone to full production with your game or put it on greenlight or whatever, contact me. Tell me, I'm trying to put together something kind of cool for that. So just let me know.
Yeah, cool.
All right, you ready?
Push the button.
Are you okay? Because I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, you have to hit the refresh.
Is it already ready? Is it already done? Is it finished? Is it finished?
All right, there it is. Shelly, make the thing happen.
Boom!
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Standing on the shoulders
that is your
of
theme.
giants.
Get out there, rock and roll.
Go make something great. And by the way, there's been a lot of questions about the detailed rules. So we've got the contest rules and all the individual drawing rules rolled out here too. Not a whole lot of surprises in there, by the way. So don't feel like you got to go fine-tooth comb them and everything. But there are a little bit different things we had to take into consideration for
all the different
things
kinds
that are
of
sweepstakes versus contests. So. Enjoy, everybody. We cannot wait to see what you create. And I guess that's a wrap, huh?
I mean, I guess. Whoa!
Being crushed. Anyway, we will see you next week, and we will have the doomsday clock that we'll just kind of push the button, and then it'll all be done.
Man.
Until we go and judge them all. All right.
Yes.
So thanks everybody for being incredible. We cannot wait to see what is made once more time.
Yeah.
So
thank you guys so much.
We'll see you next week. We'll see you on the internet.